Magandang araw ulit sa inyong lahat. So for today, ang pag-aaralan naman natin ay History of the Earth. So our objectives for today is to describe how layers of rocks or stratified rocks are formed, describe the different methods, relative and absolute dating to determine age of stratified rocks, explain how relative and absolute dating were used to determine the subdivisions of geologic time, describe how marker fossils are used to identify subdivisions of the geologic time scale, and finally describe how the Earth's history can be interpreted from the geologic time scale. So ang topic coverage natin ngayong araw, we have the laws of stratigraphy, and marami-rami to. Principle of inclusion, original horizontality, stratigraphic superposition, cross-cutting relationship, and faunal succession. We also have the dating techniques. We have the fossils and types of fossils, marker fossils, and finally, the geologic time scale. So magiging mabilis lang ang ating discussion ngayong araw. We have the laws of stratigraphy. 5 lahat yan. Pag-aralan natin isa-isa. We go first to the principle of inclusion. When you say inclusion, sinasama. Okay? So when rocks form, they sometimes incorporate pre-existing rocks into them. So pag nagfo-form ang rock, mayroon silang binabalutan. Yung ibang rock, maraming rock may ganon. So ang sinasabi lang ng principle of inclusion is that the rock containing the inclusion is younger than the inclusion it contains. Mas bata yung tinapay kaysa dun sa palaman. Okay? All types of rock obey the law of inclusion. Next, we have the principle of original horizontality. When we say horizontal, nakapahiga. Okay? That sedimentary layers are deposited horizontally or nearly so. Sinasabi lang ng law na to na kapag nagkaroon ng deposition, horizontal karaniwan yung position nila or formation kasi nga naman may gravity. Okay? But there are some areas na nagkakaroon ng deformation which we will not elaborate for the purposes of this lesson, nagkakaroon ng overturning. Next, principle of stratigraphic superposition. In simple terms or sa high school science ninyo, you were probably told that this is the law of superposition. When they are deposited in sequence, the oldest rocks are at the bottom and the youngest are on the top. So parang patong-patong. Yung pinakaibabaw, siya yung youngest or most recent formation. Yung pinakailalim, siya yung oldest. So mayroong mga ganyang diagram, younger than oldest. Principle of cross-cutting relationship. There are instances na nagkakaroon ng rock formation na parang humahawi nung isa pang bato. It just aims to tell us that the first feature or the cutting feature is younger than the second or yung pinutol. In this rock, makikita ninyo, there are two rocks na pareho ang kulay and then there is a band here that cut. The other two, mas bata yung nag-cut kaysa dun sa dalawa. Okay. So, hindi siya pinisa. It's just that it cut across the rocks. So, siya yung mas bata. Lastly, we have the principle of faunal succession. Medyo madetalye to, but we'll see. States that organisms evolve in definite order. They evolve, they become extinct, then they do not re-evolve again. Ibig sabihin, once lang pwedeng mag-exist yung species na yon, pag na-extinct na, hindi na sila babalik. Okay? So, dahil doon, nadi-divide mo yung timeline into 3, before the organism existed, during its existence, and nung extinct na siya. So kapag daw may particular fossil na present dun sa rock, yung rock na yon ay na-form between the time ng evolution ng fossil and extinction of that species. Kumbaga, pagka may nakita kang fossil na katabi ng bato, yung bato na yon ay na-form during the time na yung fossil na yon ay buhay pa or existing pa. Napakadaling intindihan, tama? Okay. So tapos na kagad tayo sa laws of stratigraphy. We go to dating techniques. Paano ba nila nalalaman kung sino yung mas matanda at sino yung mas bata? So may dalawa tayong paraan. You have the absolute dating. When you say absolute, dinidetermine niya yung numerical age in millions of years ago using chemistry. Okay. So, nagagawa to sa pamamagitan ng tinatawag na radioactivity na na-discover ni Henry Becquerel noong 1988. And uses the natural decay of radioactive isotopes in the fossils that were found. Mamaya malalaman natin kung paano talaga ito gumagana. Okay? So, meron tinatawag na half-life and comes with the range in form of a positive, negative sign. Next, we have the relative dating. When you say relative, nagko-compare ka lang. Sinasabi mo sino mas matanda, sino mas bata. Okay? Sedimentary rocks have a bedding, or yun yung tinatawag na patong-patong. And so, for relative dating, they use the laws of stratigraphy na diniscuss natin kanina. Okay? Stratigraphy, by the way, is the study of strata or the sedimentary layers. Kagaya nito. Okay? So, in this illustration, makikita ninyo na banded. So, may layers, iba't ibang kulay. It just tells us yung pinakailalim ang oldest, yung pinakataas, the youngest. Okay? Now, we also have the absolute dating technique. Ito yung tinatawag na radioactivity. Kasi ang mga bato, may certain content yan na nauubos or nangangalahati every now and then. Okay? Habang lumilipas yung panahon, nababawasan ng kalahati yung amount na yon. Illustrated in this diagram by the black dots. So, sa dami ng natitirang black or dung amount ng material na yun, ng radioactive material na yun, malalaman nila kung gaano nakatanda yung bato. Okay? So, for example, we have this graph here. So, depende dun sa proportion nung red dun sa black, malalaman kung gaano nakatagal nag-exist or yung edad ng rock na yon. You'll discuss more of that kung magpupunta kayo sa nuclear chemistry. But for now, suffice it to say, mas marami yung amount ng radioactive isotope, mas bata, mas konti, more or less you can say, matanda na yung bato. Kasi marami na yung nag-radioactivity. Now, we go to fossils. Alam na natin ang fossils, they are preserved remains or traces of living things. Okay? They provide clues as to how life has changed over time. Kasi nakakakita tayo ng iba't ibang fossil, iba't ibang species. We can make conclusions on how do life forms look like back then. Okay? And nafo-form lang sila by chance when they get buried by sediments, yung mga fossils na to. So pag may mga namamatay na organisms back then pero hindi naman nababaon sa sediments, more likely hindi natin malalaman na nag-exist pala sila. So the sediments harden into sedimentary rock and preserve the shapes of the organisms. When you go to your performance task, gagawa kayo ng fossil, marirealize nyo kung paano sila na-form using these concepts. Okay? So yung mga illustrations na to, they are examples of fossils. Nakikita natin sa mga movies, sa TV, sa museums. Now we have the types of fossils. Okay? Una, we have the molds and the cast. Pag sinabi nating molds, the mold is formed from the hard part of an organism. And after some time, mai-imprint yung mold and mai-imprint yung shape ng fossil dun sa mold and mapiprint siya. Para tong fingerprint. Okay? So, meron naman, nagsisip yung minerals or yung mga rock-forming minerals dun sa mold, kinokopya nila yung imprint ng fossil. So, for a mold fossil or a cast fossil to form, kailangan matigas yung object, hard part. Kasi pag malambot, it will just decay. Kakainin ng mga bacteria. We also have the petrified fossils. Yung mga fossils na tumigas na naging bato. Okay? Kasi yung mga minerals, nire-replace nila yung parts ng organism, kaya nagmumukha silang bato. Kaya nga tinawag na petrified. We also have the carbonized fossil. So parang carbon films. Okay? May thin carbon coatings na natitira sa mga bato. Okay? So the remains or the actual remains may be gone, but there are hints of carbon left in one area of a rock. Para kayong nagka-carbon copy ng resibo. Wala man sa inyo yung original copy, may nakita kayong carbon, so you'll conclude that there was once an organism there, or there was once a receipt sa ibabaw. Ganun lang siya kadaling intindihin. And last, we have the trace fossils. When you say trace, hindi siya yung mismong organism, but it only explains the activities. Okay? Example nito, footprints, trails, burrows, okay? Minsan the dung. So, trace fossils yun. It can be used as an inference to determine the animal size and its behavior. Kung palatakbo ba siya, lumalangoy ba siya, etc. etc. Fossils are not only used to just gather life forms back then, but they are also used to tell time. Okay? May tinatawag tayong marker fossil, also known as guide fossil, index fossil, or indicator fossil. So, ano ba yung ginagawa niya? It uses a fossil of a particular species to identify the age of a rock layer where the fossil is embedded. So, parang dun sa principle of faunal succession. Malalaman natin yung edad ng bato pag nakita natin yung fossil na nakatabi ng batong yun. Okay? So, it can also be used to determine if two isolated rock layers are of the same age. So, kunyari merong rock na nakuha sa Pilipinas, may rock na nakuha sa United States. Kung meron sila nung same fossil na yon or marker fossil na yon, we can say that those rocks are of the same age. Kahit na magkalayo sila. Okay? Ano ba assumptions nito? Una, the rock where the fossil was embedded formed during the time that that species existed. Kagaya nung sa principle of faunal succession. Okay? Ano ba yung mga required fossil para masabi nating marker fossil? So, hindi lahat ng fossil pwedeng marker. Okay? So, short-lived dapat, or when you say short-lived in geological terms, dapat yung species na yon nabuhay lang more or less thousands of years. Okay? So, mas maikli ang buhay or ng existence ng species na yon, mas maganda. Okay? And also, must be abundant and easily recognizable. Kailangan marami sila. Mas maganda nga kung they are spread across the world para magagamit mo silang indicator and they are easily recognizable. Madaling makilala based dun sa form. Kasi nga, fossils are imprints. Excavating them alone is a tedious task. Paano pa yung recognition? So, kailangan madali. Okay. Finally, we have the geologic timescale sa pamamagitan ng collaboration ng mga paleontologists, stratigraphists, and petrologists. Nakapag-formulate tayo ng tinatawag na GTS or Geologic Timescale. It's a tabular representation of the history of the Earth, pinning down the important events and subdivisions into timeline from the formation of the Earth to the present time. So, meron tayong mga era divided into periods, periods divided into epochs or ages, and may mga major events. Okay? So, kung pag-aaralan natin the Precambrian, nandyan yung hindi pa masyadong evolving life forms. During the Cambrian era under the Paleozoic, nandyan na yung mga invertebrates, fishes, and amphibians. Okay? So, yun yung mga more or less primitive life forms. Mesozoic era, andyan yung mga dinosaurs. Mesozoic era is also known as the age of reptiles. And so, after ma-extinct ng mga dinosaurs, nagkaroon ulit ng bagong era. We have the Cenozoic era. Andyan ang age of mammals kasama ang tao. So for today, our epoch is Holocene. We are in the Cenozoic era, Quaternary period, Holocene epoch. Okay? So madaling maintindihan ang geologic timescale and it just shows kung ano yung naging history ng Earth na ang gamit mong basis yung mga life forms na na-collect ng mga scientists through time. So now that you have known the history of the Earth and you're now familiar with your fossils, you can now perform the performance task. Thank you for listening.